So yesterday when I was on set, I made an outline for my third feature film script. This one would be a action drama, and I already had the story. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a trilogy or do a 3-season series. The reason I wanted to make it a series is because there's little moments. These characters, it's three main characters that have like arcs, and they change a lot through these arcs. And I always like the idea of like you're watching a television series, you're like 20, 30 episodes in, and you see these characters like change throughout the series, throughout the hours that you're watching. But I feel like it's a very solid story for a movie. And I have to choose, do I want to show those little things over the period of like 30 hours of screen time, or do I want to tell a very solid story? And I did the outline for the first chapter. I was planning for 3 chapters, but the issue is that, so it's one big story, right? And then the first act, I gotta introduce these characters, introduce this world, and then the third act, a lot of things happening. But then the second act, it's like a very small portion of the overarching story that I want to tell. And I was thinking, I was like, I have enough stuff to make 1 season or 1 movie from the first act, and enough stuff to make 1 season or 1 movie with a third part of the act, but not enough for a movie or a season with the second act. And I don't just want to add stuff that's, well, let me make it longer. You know, the story is a story that I want to tell. I'm not going to add pointless stuff just to make it longer. So I think it's actually better off if I make it a 2-chapter story in the film, you know, like 2.5 hours, 3 hours each chapter, and that's it. I'll have to change some parts of the story, and then, so yeah, and then here, it's called Bloom, and then here's like a general outline of the main events. The first part would be heavily inspired by Taxi Driver, the Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson. Batman Begins. It's almost like a character study on 3 different characters. Typically when you got a character study kind of movie, it's the main character, but it has a plot, of course, but it's a good character study about how these characters change. You know, my character goes from being a piece of shit, trying to improve, and then like, you know, struggling. The second main character is like the middle ground for it's like the person that wants to change and actually does change for the better. And the third character is like a white horse character where he's super good, great person, and then slowly starts to corrupt. So